Godspeed and party on.
Spencer Lazara here, post-fight at Strikeforce. Henderson just knocked out Feijao. I'm here with Randy Couture. Give us your thoughts on the fight, Randy.
Oh, great fight. Danny did a great job. He stuck to the game plan. You know, he threatened him with the takedowns. He set up his right hand, and finally in the third round, I think Feijao slowed down just enough where he was able to catch him with it.
Obviously, with the whole fight, just clearly you could say to yourself, this is Dan's fight. Very similar to how the kind of fight you want to have when you go in the ring.
Well, I think Feijao is very, very dangerous, especially in that first round. You saw Dan get a little stunned, and he recovered right away, took Feijao down. But I think clearly Feijao probably won the first round 10-9. I think Danny came back with the 2 takedowns in the second round and was winning and won that round 10-9. So it was a round apiece going into the third. Anybody's ball game, really. Danny's patient, stayed right in there, set it up, and really clobbered him with a good one. He's got a nasty right hand.
We actually talked, I asked him about your fight with Lyoto and how earlier this week when I was talking to Dan, he said he wished you luck and hopes you win. And he said the matches were a little different but had a little similarities. You think so at all?
I think Feijao is a little more straight ahead. He's going to come out and stand toe-to-toe and fight you. That's not really Lyoto's style. He's going to get on his bike and try and get you to chase him. And he's got a little bit different posture. He's a southpaw. He sets up his striking a little bit different than your traditional kickboxer or Muay Thai kickboxer. His footwork's a little bit different. He throws kicks from weird angles. So he does a few things a little bit different. They're both powerful, dangerous guys. They've trained together a little bit. So it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it.
After seeing Rampage fight against Machida, he's tended to not engage for 2 rounds, and then Machida, of course, took the 3rd round. Do you expect the same type of thing? And does that give you confidence going into that fight, seeing that he's going to run around and you can still just have that octagon control, cage control, and win just like that?
Well, I don't want it to be that kind of fight. I think the goal for me is to cut him off, to force him to fight me, to not let him run around and avoid 2 rounds of fighting. So, I think he'll engage. I'm going to force him, hopefully with the cage, to play a little clinch game and pin him against that and make him work from there. And that's always been a strength of mine. So the key is to cut him off and to get my hands on him, though. I mean, he's not easy to catch up with.
So tell us about your experience here at the Arnold this weekend.
Well, it's been great. I've been coming here for 8 years in a row. Obviously, one of the big fights for me was the first UFC here with Tim Sylvia and a huge crowd and one that I'll always remember. I got to see a little arm wrestling, hand out the awards for that. I went to some of the archery for the kids. I've been an archer my whole life, so I'm going to go to the film festival tomorrow with Arnold. They did a new thing with the sports clips, the short films for sports, and they're giving out those awards tomorrow, so I'm going to go hang out with Arnold for that.
That's awesome. What did you think about Kampmann's fight against Diego? Were you able to catch that, or were you too busy?
I watched that fight and I was disappointed in that decision. I think sometimes the judges mistake activity for effective fighting, and if you look at the 2 guys' faces at the end of that fight, it was pretty clear who was being effective in that fight. The jabs and the punches that Martin set up and the control and the takedown defense and all the things that he did in that fight were spot on. They were perfect with the game plan, and I thought he won the fight. I thought he lost the 2nd round. I thought that little flurry on the fence that cut Martin was probably enough to win that round in a fairly undistinguishable round. I thought Martin clearly controlled, with his jab and with his long distance striking, the 1st and the 3rd round, and so I thought the judges had it wrong.
So obviously you had some talk of retirement, but this fight is a big fight for you. You win it. We're looking at you again in title contention once again.
Well, we'll see how the Machida fight goes, and it'll take them one fight at a time. I've been doing that since I started this game. Having a blast, still competing well and feeling great. And, the movie thing is really starting to get traction for me now. And, we're going to start the Expendables sequel here in September. I've got another film on the books for May and June. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think that's what's going to carry me down the next 10 years. So the end of fighting is coming.
One last question. Talk about the evolution of your son. We know he just had another submission victory. Must be pretty proud of that.
Absolutely. He's doing a tremendous job. It was a great step up in competition for him. I was happy to see him get the minutes in and go deep into the 3rd, and I think that was important for him, for his psyche as a fighter as he's developing. He's a tremendous submission guy, way better than I ever was. He's very slick. He had a good wrestling base that he started with, and he's really been working diligently on his striking, and I think it showed in that fight. His footwork, the kicks, and the way he set up his head movement, all those things were spot on. So very proud of him. It's fun to watch.
Appreciate the time. Randy Couture here, post-fight at Strikeforce, the legend himself.
Godspeed and party on.